So hello, welcome to our kind of homesteading. This isn't my baby. It's our niece.
But who knows really anymore? She has too many to count.
Yeah, so baby just wanted to say, and you missed it. She said something into the microphone and my heart just melted.
It was adorable.
I know we're probably very biased, but
No.
she's adorable.
Adorable.
Look at that curly blonde hair.
The curlier it is, the crazier they are, huh?
Yeah, so her mom, our sister, she also had curly blonde hair. And my dad always joked that like her hair was all twisted tight because that's like what her personality was.
Attached to her brain.
It's true, by the way. She was an awful little baby, awful little toddler.
She wasn't awful.
Oh, she was awful. I mean,
she
love her.
wasn't.
Loved her. Loved her to pieces.
You were not an awful baby.
No, we were part of that, though. We were part of making her awful. Very spoiled. She was essentially like the only child, even though like we are her sisters. But like there's so, a huge age gap. And they say anything over 7 years, that kid is like mentally an only child. That is correct.
Was. That is correct.
Yes.
She did it.
And apparently we're...
correct it either.
Yeah, no, we were like, no, just give her all the baby dolls, spoil her rotten, buy her all the things.
We did it. But now look at her. She's great.
We did it.
She's a great human. She made another
She
great
is a
human.
great human.
Look at this little, so cute.
And now she's made another great human. That's
But are we
right.
going to take it away? Take it away. Goodbye, baby.
I think it's going to cry, though. It's going to be awful and sad.
No, don't cry.
No.
Don't cry.
No,
Go out.
no,
Go outside.
Doesn't want to. Doesn't
Go
want
outside.
To. You just dropped your phone, I think.
I did.
So
Which is
today,
unfortunate. I'm gonna try to
we
get it. Okay.
are... What is that awful buzzing noise?
Um,
Do you hear it?
I think it's the washer. The washing machine.
Oh, really? Oh, it should... That was crazy. I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, your washing
Aw,
machine is...
she's
Oh,
sad.
see, she's crying.
Make it happy.
So today, I just blanked what we're talking about today.
We're talking. Okay, so I think we always try to talk about like what's
prepping.
like
Yeah.
not in, but like what everyone's talking
Well,
about. Okay.
yeah, what everyone's,
What's the hot new
vibe.
gossip?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's basically what
No.
everyone wants to hear about.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're all chatting about it on
So-
social media.
If you guys are on any homesteading Facebook or social media groups, I think you will find that the number one thing that's talked about is like this is like the question. It says, if shit hits the fan,
Yeah.
like what do I do? Or
What would we do? What
What
can we
should
do
we
now
do
to
now to-
prepare for when or if shit hits the fan kind of thing?
And I've never been like a prepper, I guess.
Well, I think homesteading in general,
Yeah, it
since
goes
since
hand in hand.
it's more a sustainable lifestyle, like you're growing your own food, raising your own
Self-resilient.
meat.
Yeah.
If you do that,
If you wish it.
if you wish it, and having your own like the milk animals and eggs, all that stuff. Right off the bat, you're obviously more sustainable than your next door neighbor or wherever living in suburbia, right?
And if they become zombies, you'll have to build a bigger fence to keep them
yeah,
out.
heck yeah.
Um,
They become zombies.
so
You're not getting any of my veggies, you zombie.
these are my chicken eggs. Stay out. So I think when COVID first happened, the pandemic, I think it kind of gave everybody like, okay, shit can happen, right? I feel
Well,
like
at
before,
least like shit can happen in the form of, oh crap, we don't have the capabilities of getting to the store. The stores are all closed. I can't get what I need. So I think it was maybe a little bit of an
eye opener.
eye opener for some people.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then like in today's like,
Climate.
if you will,
Yeah.
if you wish it. But I'm just gonna keep saying that through the whole thing. So.
If you wish it.
But there's just shit happening, right? And so, but like, I feel like if you are a prepper, and I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just, if you are a prepper, there's always something that's about to happen in the preppers world, right?
Right.
Like they're almost looking forward to it.
Yeah, mom looks forward to it. And which I'm good on that,
Because honestly, when the pandemic hit,
Our mom had like
She came
so
through
much
with those
stockpiles
lentils.
and rice.
she came through with those lentils.
And so much stuff, it was really awesome to be able to be like, well, sweet, we actually, the stores are closed. Mom, do you have lentils? Lentils. And just being, you have like, if it is really cool that we were talking, mom prepping and stuff. It was very cool that she did have like stockpiles of rice and beans and lentils. I mean, she even had like all these canned goods. And there was a point where the stores were closed. You just didn't have access to a lot. And so it was really nice to go over there and just be able to be like, I'll take this, then this, and this. It was like the store of Tammy.
No, yeah. And she's always been that way. Like, I constantly shop at her house, and I'm like low on funds, or I just don't want to go to the grocery store. I go to my mom's house. She has food there. And I can just go and take it. So it works great for everybody. Except for her.
Yeah, except for her.
No, but she loves it.
She does love it. I feel like she bitches about it when we do take things, but it's like she bitches.
Doesn't bitch when I take things.
Yeah, she does to me. And then when I take things, she bitches to you about me. It's like, but she loves it though. Secretly, she loves it. Because
she can go shopping some more. Secretly, she loves it. See, Mom, you love it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. We're helping you.
That's right.
But so I think it, there was some like supply issues and people were like stockpiling shit. So like for whatever reason, like toilet paper was like the thing. Okay. So like so we want to talk about like, prepping and stuff like that. When with homesteading, you kind of already have like, we have
mentality.
We have milk and eggs. Never going to run out.
Never running out of those. Yeah.
Like we're good on the milk and egg front. Which I think is like a staple.
Which is awesome, right? It's a huge staple because you can make pretty much anything you need to make with milk and eggs, by the way.
Yeah, so if you do want to be more self-sufficient, self-resilient, whatever you want to say, or you have more of that, you're kind of worried about something, if something was to happen again or something. I know there's a lot of different, a lot of people right now on the homesteading sites are talking about specifically like supply chain issues and food shortages is like a huge thing. And so, like, if you're able to get most of what you need from your, backyard, then you're Gucci. So,
my kids hate when I say that. It's very funny. So I have to say it as often as possible.
Oh, good. Yeah. I was like, hopefully you say it a lot then.
I do. Yeah. It's fun.
I try to say all the hip things.
Yeah, hip. We're super hip. We're hip moms. We're not regular moms. We're cool moms.
We're cool moms.
Yeah, they hate it.
Shanley, our younger sister, whose baby we had at the beginning, she said something earlier and I was like, wait, what? And like she had to explain it to me, but like with a crayon and like she had to really go into like a lot of detail because like I was like, am I old now?
Yeah, you are.
Am I old?
Yeah. I mean, you're no longer a teenager. That's for damn sure.
Well, neither is she. But
she still is probably...
She's 22.
And she's still right there, though,
Yeah, and she's like...
the lingo, she still is...
Like, she gets it.
She still gets it, because she's really not that much...
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I felt like Dad, when we try to explain things to Dad...
And Dad just looked at you like...
Yeah.
I have a blank stare.
That's who I was. I was my father for...
Oh, I can't tell you how often. And, Lorenzo... He's so like he knows that like I don't know like their lingo, and I've picked up a lot on it. I mean, I don't use it because I feel like very lame.
Fraud.
I just feel weird saying it because they're not my words. I feel like a thief almost or something.
A fraud, yeah.
No, yeah, it's weird. So I don't use them, but I can at least understand him when he's talking to me and just like in plain English.
Bet.
Thank you. Right. I know what that means. I get it. Right.
Yeah, but there's like a lot that like.
But he'll be like, Mom, do you know this? You know what this and this is? I'm like, no. He's like, what about this and this? I'm like, no. And it's all basically the same shit that he's just rewording in their lingo. It's so funny, and he thinks it's hilarious that.
Yeah, it is quite weird. I don't know why I got into that, but I just felt very much out of place.
Evolution of language.
Yeah,
it's quite stunning, actually.
Well, like I always feel like
remarkable, really.
I'm like a young, 40-year-old. Not 40 yet. A few months.
You're in July. You basically are.
Yeah, not yet. But I always feel like, I'm really like 30, 32 at the most.
Wonder how really Dad feels.
Well, that's how I really feel. Like
I don't feel
feel
like 60, how like really old we'll feel. You know what I mean? Strange, right?
I would say like in my 20s, but people would probably be like, okay. So
no, that's a lie. No, that's a lie. I definitely don't feel nearly as good as I did in my 20s.
I literally
felt like a freaking rock star in your 20s, right?
I know, yeah.
Like I can really do anything.
Like you could like literally drink all night and then like get up and still like function. If I drank all night right now, I would not be podcasting. I'd be dead probably.
I probably wouldn't be awake.
No, I would not be awake.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, like
Your body's super against you when you age, right? It's like,
and you can still like walk around in heels and drink like
it's crazy.
3 whole vodka bottles and still be all like the next day be all like, I'm gonna go get
person.
my nails done.
You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like what's
crazy.
Wrong? No,
I like that
I'm
meme about like all you 20-year-old like workout trainers, like, yeah, get back to me when you're 40. In my 20s, my workout was, tripping home from the bar, like walking 2 miles home in like 5-inch heels after I was all drunk, and then getting up the next day and like repeat.
Yeah,
hysterical. And it's so true. You see all these.
It's very healthy way to live. Yeah.
I don't think I drank that much. I had a stint from 18 to 20, and that was about it. I was under 21. Yeah, I fully admit it.
You did have a shorter stint, but that's because you had a baby.
I had a baby. I was, under
I had
21.
A longer stint.
Shauna had a longer stint.
A longer one.
No babies, right?
Yeah, babies really make you have to grow up. So, yeah, that probably wasn't great for my liver. But, here I am today. I'm fine.
I mean, I feel like you're a very healthy person now. So
I am.
I feel like you've probably really, everything's probably boop, boop. That's good.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, no, but I feel like I'm really young, but I don't know what this has to do with prepping, but my point was
I don't know how we get off on things. It's fine.
I was doing my hair today for this episode.
That's your point?
Okay. And like I don't have like gray hairs yet. Like I'll have like one, I saw like one on top of my head, but like I was like, I'm amazing, I had this fucking like gray hair. It was as long as the rest of my hair, so it's been growing a while. But I was like, where the fuck did this come from, and how did I not notice it before? It's like in the back here, so obviously like, I'm not going to notice it if it's like until I'm like doing my hair.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, how did I not note? It's so long. And how long have you been growing? Like since I was 2? Like it's crazy to me.
And crazy. How dare it be there?
But now I'm going to have to
We were very lucky,
you guys
though.
are going to start seeing me dye my hair now because that's the point I'm at apparently.
we have like American Indian like blood in us, and so like we didn't gray at all, like pretty late, you know what I mean? Like very late for like most people. Like I know some of our friends are like, oh yeah, I've got gray hairs in their 30s. I was like, what?
I know when we were a lot younger, and I was
a
like,
lot
what's
younger.
Wrong with
Yeah,
you?
I was
Are
like,
you
that's
guys
weird.
Yeah, I thought it was very odd, but apparently we're the odd ones.
Yeah, we're the odd ones out. Apparently most people do gray in their
My husband
their
had a
30s.
shit ton of gray hair, like even when I met him. How old were we? How old are you?
Hair since I was like 16.
Yeah, my husband was a very early
That's
gray
crazy.
hair. How do you say that? Gray.
You know, me and the back guy,
Yeah, he
so
like
we did 'em.
he just had like a bunch, and we met in our 20s or whatever at a bar.
weird.
I was bartending though. I might have been.
That
drinking
makes
too.
it better.
Yeah.
That makes it better.
Yeah, that makes it better.
It doesn't actually.
It does.
No.
Like,
Very
I wasn't
romantic
No.
story. I was bartending, serving him drinks.
I feel like you drank a lot more because you were a bartender. Yeah, true.
That's very accurate.
Yeah. Truth. Hashtag hard facts.
Anyways, I don't know how we got on a tangent about my gray, but I have to start dyeing my hair. That was my whole point. I have to start
Okay,
dyeing my hair.
that was it, people.
For podcasting.
Talking about prepping, and
because now
Shauna's, like,
we're on YouTube, and now
talking.
people are gonna like see
Sounds
me.
like I'm on fucking video, and you're never saying my gray hair.
So something to think about when you are. No, I'm just joking. Prepping hair dye.
Hair dye.
Things you need.
Seriously, though, right?
But honestly, like when you think about if you are into
Me rushing to Sally's afterwards. I never thought about stocking up on hair dye.
Damn it. How do I make my own? You're crushing up fucking blackberries. You're like, this is going to work.
My husband's like, why did you spend $500 at Sally's? I'm like, hair dye for
Stockpile.
if some shit hits the fan, honey.
Pile, 'cause
Okay?
I'm still going to look fucking good.
I'm not stockpiling food. I'm stockpiling hair dye.
Fucking walking around.
I know for my goats, my chickens, gotta look good.
Okay? There's zombies coming at us. My hair's going to be on point. So, fuck you. Very normal things to think
yes.
about.
Yeah.
But like it is kind of overwhelming though, like when you think about like if something were to happen, because there's the what ifs, like the possibilities of what that could be.
I mean, it's a lot.
It's going to be a lot.
Very broad.
And like, yeah, and if you talk to anybody that is like a prepper, they all have their own things that they're worried about.
Well, and they all have their own things that they are like, okay, we need this because this is what we eat or what we like or what we need as a family or just individually.
But
and
like,
so I feel like if you do want to talk about prepping and talk about, okay, yeah, let's get serious about this, you should look at like, okay, what does my family eat the most of? What would we need the most of that
To make
is
that.
yeah, to make that and that's the most what's the word? I'm totally just blanking on the word. Realistic. There it is. Most realistic for you, for your space you have.
But like it can literally come down to like, because like, so I was thinking about this a lot just lately because I'm always on the homesteading sites and I'm like, oh mate, should I be worried about this? Like,
yeah,
oh,
you
shit.
read enough stuff and
Yeah.
you're like, shit, everyone's worried about
Yeah,
this.
and so like,
Should I follow right off the cliff?
yeah, and
Should
I know that just because we have been doing like, I know I can make my own vinegar and stuff. I use that a lot for cleaning instead of like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so like,
yeah.
I like that kind of like basic stuff. But like, I buy my flour. That's like what's really getting me. Like, what would I do for flour? And I know some people say you can take like zucchini and dehydrate it and then grind that shit up and that can be like a flour.
Sounds awful. Sounds like a very long task. Sounds like you need a lot of fucking zucchini.
I mean, but
too.
that's like the thing though, right? You're like, oh,
we need a room
shoot
full
the
of
neighbors
zucchini.
because we need their land.
Right? You're like, oh god.
Anyways,
yes, that's my point. Like, how are you gonna grow all that zucchini?
But the other thing I wanted to bring up for if you are like concerned about something happening is that it's never like it is in the movies. Okay.
Well,
so like,
yeah.
I think we all learned our lesson with the pandemic. We thought like, if something like if you said a pandemic into the movies, like it's all much, there's chaos, blood coming out of people's
Mayhem.
eyes,
Yeah,
like
it's
like,
never like
yeah,
that,
and
you know?
instead everybody's
Never
just
like that.
binging Netflix in their fuzzy slippers on the couch.
And then they're kind of bummed when it ends. They're like, oh man, I
yeah.
have to go do things,
Yeah,
go places.
So obviously some people were in the hospital. It was horrible. I'm not trying to discount that, but I'm just saying for the most part, like people, it was pretty chill, right?
I mean, yeah, for us. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was.
So
it was.
There wasn't like, I never ran out of toilet paper.
Okay, and that was the funniest thing about that whole thing. I was much more worried about food. I wasn't worried about food because again, we had our mom who's like, she's a prepper and she had like all this shit in one of her rooms just packed full of just food. It was wonderful and awesome. But toilet paper, like I can use so many things as toilet paper. That's just not one of my worries.
Yeah,
I would just never be
It
like.
wasn't on the top of my. It still is not on the top of my list.
It's never gonna be on the top of my list.
I wasn't. I'm like, if I'm like worried, I'm like, oh, we should,
like when
stockpile
mom
some
brought
more.
up like because she's on right now, she's like thinking about all that, right? Because like everyone is, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, flour, mom. Every time you go to Costco right now,
Flour,
buy
yeah.
a 25-pound bag of flour. Yes,
Yeah.
I know it's excessive, but
we
we go through a lot of flour.
I go through a lot of flour just normally.
Yes, that's
like,
my point.
And like, if I couldn't
And if you
get
couldn't
any,
get to the store, I
if
mean,
we
do you
couldn't-
imagine how much more you'd go through?
but like, yeah, exactly.
Literally, like
I would,
so
but like
many
the things.
pounds of flour.
I don't know. It's just crazy to think about. So like getting down to like the basics of like what you would need, what
Yeah.
you could use, like if you didn't have electricity, like would you be okay? Like in our county, we had a time when like the power was off for, I don't even know. It was like off for what?
Yeah, pretty.
Days.
It was a long
Yeah, it was
time.
off for like
and
days.
they were shutting
but like
it down for like the wind purposes because
they were
PG&E
afraid of
was
fires.
terrified
We're
of getting sued
California,
again.
right?
Yeah.
And so, but the people up here, especially in the homesteading community, God, they bitched and complained about it like being off. And I'm like, how are you guys like, like we had a generator, and so we were like,
Yeah, ditto.
we were fine. We still plugged in our Wi-Fi. We were good.
We can watch Netflix. All is right in the
It's
world.
okay.
Our kids
like our fridge was
can
plugged
watch
in,
TikTok.
But that was the most of the complaints of people that did live more like in suburban areas and stuff like that. They didn't have generators, and so their food would go bad. They had stuff, medical things they needed to be plugged in or what have you. And so like thinking from that standpoint, if you didn't have electricity, like could you survive?
I mean, that's a huge one.
That's
Especially
a big,
nowadays because we rely on electricity for so much, right?
Well, like on all the things you use in your kitchen, even, right? And you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
beep beep beep.
Yeah.
So like, so that
Thank you, electricity.
I know, like
Yeah.
all the time. Like
Yeah.
even when even like something like a food dehydrator, like, okay, unless you have
Yeah.
like a fucking solar one, how are you going to dehydrate all that zucchini for your fucking flour if like there's no power?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's just,
For sure.
there's so many things depending on the, what if, whatever happened.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, if you are, you definitely should write a list. Like if this is something that's concerning to you, start off with a list of things like, okay, think about like basic things like electricity. You don't have a generator. I would think that would be like top probably on your list because like food going bad in your fridge freaking sucks, and you don't want that, you know. And having just a fucking light at night. I mean, I think we we take that for granted. But you know, be like
so
flicky,
much,
you know,
so much like walking the hallway, then that light's off, and then everybody has a broken leg. Like it's not good for anybody.
You're tumbling downstairs if you have a two-story house.
Because like it's always
You take it for
surprising how
granted.
dark your house is when the power goes out.
Especially if the moon is.
Hello?
You're like, do I live in a cave? You know, especially if there's no moon that night.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
That's
times.
great for stars, like looking at stars.
No, great for stars,
like,
but it's like you don't always want to look at stars. And it's like,
like I'm
there's
just trying to get
times
upstairs and go to bed.
when I'm walking from mom's house down to our house at night.
Yeah.
If I don't bring my car up because sometimes I'm an idiot. I'm like, we're going to walk tonight. And I'm like regretting it later, like, fuck.
Regrets.
Anyway, regrets. So there's times when I'm walking down from my parents' house to our house, and it's like a good 800 feet. I don't know. I'm bad with distance. So, yeah. So, if the moon is out, it's like we don't need flashlights. It's super bright. You're like, yeah, I mean, it's casting fucking shadows on the ground.
Right.
But then when the moon is covered or not really out, like
and this has to be like a full moon when you're
right. I mean,
like,
it's a full moon.
Yeah.
And but when that is not a thing, I mean, it is like it's fucking pitch black.
Yeah.
You know, we live like on property. We don't have like fucking street lamps everywhere. Like it's just there's no light. So that is something to definitely consider. You take for granted light. So like, do you have enough batteries if you're going to use lanterns? Do you have enough candles if you're going to do the whole candle thing? Which I personally wouldn't do just because I'd be afraid of my house burning down. But that's just me.
I have like a shelf that I.
And I'm sorry, but candles are completely pointless. Like it's ambiance for me. That's the only reason I light a candle.
No,
I'm not gonna light a candle for light though. It's
I
like so
mean-
dumb. It's like gives off like just a little bit of light. It's like here's the candle,
but if
and then
that's
here's
all
like
you-
the light circle,
But if that's
and you're
all
like,
you have,
okay.
like depending on how long a disaster would
That
last,
will never be all I have.
Like-
never in the history
I'm
of
just
me.
saying, it could
Nope,
be.
nope.
Like I have like a whole cabinet, and I have it devoted to like batteries,
Yeah.
candles,
Yeah, fuck yeah.
matches, lighters, waterproof matches. Like it's a little like emergency and
Yeah.
thing where you know where it's at. If it is,
And then Sean brings up a good point. I should put together like an actual designated cabinet because that's
trying
the
to
worst.
look for
Is
something
when
when it's pitch black. That fucking. I know we usually have our phones and we're all like, just fucking turn on your phone, your flashlight.
well,
and stuff.
okay, it's always with us. Like if the power goes down accidentally, our phones are fucking like 2%. You're just like, damn it. And
for
like,
sure.
that's always how it is.
sure.
And then what the fuck are you gonna do? Like I would just go
Yeah.
sit in my car and turn my car on, but I'd be like charging my phone in my
that's like
car.
we're very spoiled, right? While I
Oh,
drink
yeah.
my Starbucks.
Very spoiled. Not at all. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, start with a list if this is a worry for you, and start with like your top, like, okay, this is what our needs are right now that we don't have that we definitely need to get. A designated cabinet is a great idea, by the way. That's wonderful. With batteries and matches and candles and all the things you need. Batteries, you definitely should stock up on because those fuckers go like a
Yeah.
lantern. Are going to use those very quick. They have solar lanterns that are freaking
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
We have collapsible ones, and you blow
Yeah.
them up, and then
They're
you just
kinda
like
cool.
set them out, and they give off a fuck ton of light. By the way,
I honestly think
No batteries
like
needed.
solar would be your best bet. Like if you could, solar lanterns and things that run on solar.
Yes,
would be
definitely.
Way like because like if you don't always have the availability, because like even generators they run on gas. Like if we didn't have to, we weren't able to go
exactly.
get gasoline, or it just
Yep.
supply shortages or something, you just didn't have it. Like what would you do then at that point? So there's
cry.
So many
I would cry.
there's so many things to think about all the time.
I know.
So like we heat our house. We've always just heated our house with our wood stove, and so
Right.
we've never used anything else. So like we'd be fine. I feel like in the summer though, like we don't run like a whole AC through our house because it's fucking expensive. But we have like the little window ones, like. And what I hate being hot, like
I would
have
be
to like.
very, very unhappy if
I
it was
know.
summertime and no electricity.
I know we'd have to like.
I mean,
be
that'd be
all,
just
like,
freaking
sleep
awful.
outside.
I would be
screened
sleeping in my
room.
fucking pool. I'd be like, this is where you'll find me for the next however many days. We have no electricity. I mean, it would just be awful.
Yeah. So, but it's just crazy the things like Sherry said, like making a list of things
Yeah.
that like, but getting things like solar lanterns, stockpiling on things like flour. And I know flour doesn't last forever, but if you have like freezer space and freezing flour works really well.
I mean, they have those containers you can get, and they're like, you need like a fucking tool to open them. Like it's like a
Yeah, the
bucket with this
gasket.
lid. The gasket,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
we have that.
insane, and nothing is getting in that. So you could very much invest in
For
those.
my honey bucket.
I know. Shauna has a gigantic bucket designated just for fucking honey because she has a fucking
See,
problem.
and that's my
She needs to
sweetener. I
go
wouldn't need to
seek
like
therapy.
get sugar. I don't need therapy. I need my honey
Therapy.
bucket.
she's like Winnie the
I'm
Pooh.
just gonna sleep with
She's
it.
like Pooh Bear.
I am Pooh Bear.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy.
I need honey today, by the way.
No,
Speaking
it's my
of that,
honey bucket.
no, I'm taking some.
But
I forgot my jar though. Son of a
oh
bitch.
shit, you
I
don't get one
know.
of my jars.
I'm
You're
gonna
gonna have to
take
hold
one.
it in your hand.
No, I'm like driving home.
very sticky.
Very sticky.
But the other things that you would want to think about with, you know, for something happening, prepping and stuff like that is, you know, animal feed, right? Because like if something were to happen, like not just feeding yourselves, but what would you feed your animals?
I mean, especially if you have
and if it's
whether
like a
you have
long-term
animals
thing.
you are getting milk or eggs from, whether it's animals that you are going to process for meat. I mean, they have to be fucking fed. So, yes, something to think about. I mean, we've talked about there's a specific tree they grow in Australia, and they're easy to grow, all that good stuff. I mean, I think they would do well here. I
Yeah,
don't
they
really
do
know.
well here.
And you could literally
the name
use
of
these
it, though?
trees to feed your goats. We have to find the name of it. I feel like
I
this
could
is the
probably
second
look it up.
or third time we've talked about this tree, and we're like, we don't know the
It's
name.
like a long, weird name. I've been thinking about growing them here, just for funsies, but
Yeah.
um,
I mean, okay.
like
when
chickens
it comes
would be
down
the
to it,
easiest because like chickens, like you can just free range them, right?
I mean, my chickens are free range. We you know, they
I
get
mean,
like a
y-
couple scoops and that's it. You know, we
yeah,
barely
but
feed
like
them.
I feel like you know they would pretty much be okay. It might have to like
Yeah, they're good.
thin out your flock a little bit.
No,
but,
they're
like,
good.
You know, that's just like meat.
Ours
and-
would be perfectly fine, to be honest. And I honestly feel like if it was dependent upon what time of year it was, even our goats would be fine. Like they would just eat the grass.
I
and
don't
the
know, but what
leaves.
about in the summer?
In the summer? It would suck. I don't know what they would do. We
Like,
would
but
just
yeah,
have to,
beyond like cutting branches off of trees to feed them.
which we could do. I mean, we
That
have
would be
plenty
like
of oak
that
trees.
would be like the only thing you could really do.
Yeah.
So like there's just so many things, so many aspects to think of, and I have been thinking about it a lot lately, and it's just like it all just seems so like overwhelming because even like how would I bake like a fucking loaf of bread if we didn't like you know have any kind of electricity or couldn't have get gas for the generator? Like what would you do? Like solar ovens? Like like what would you do?
Bake outside though.
Yeah, you can bake outside. You can like
Yeah, so-
I want like an outdoor like you know basically like a
Cook on our stove or wood stove.
yeah, and we have cooked on our wood stove before when the power's been out, just because it's fun, you know. It's like,
Yeah. Well, I feel like you could
Lots of
definitely make
soups and
a, you know,
stews.
what's that thing called that you make outside?
the pizza oven
Yeah, like a pizza oven outside, or it doesn't have to just be for pizzas, of course. It could cook anything.
only for pizzas. You
Yeah,
can
I
have a
mean-
lot of fucking pizza.
See, my husband wanted to build one for my mother-in-law. Of course, he's like, you don't need one. And, you know, he's like, I'm going to build one for my mom. I'm like, yeah, you do that. I hope you cut yourself.
Ah, yes.
So, of course, I would use it. She's only there like 6
you
months
should
out of the
tell
year.
him,
But
be like, your mom said she really wants one. She told me.
he's never going to believe that because
Spanish.
yeah. And I understood it. I learned Spanish, just, you know,
I looked up.
unknowing to you. Yeah.
Yeah, you should tell him. I would totally be all about that because I really want like an outdoor. I want like an outdoor like kitchen setup. It'd be super fun. This is nothing to do with prepping. Just to be like you know.
That has everything to do with prepping. It's something that you could use without having to use electricity.
But the other thing I was thinking about, okay, is water. Okay, I don't have a. I know you have a well,
Yeah, you could just come to our house.
but like,
We just give you gallons and gallons of water.
but like my garden. That's what I'm thinking about. Like a garden. Like we
Oh,
have
yeah,
a we have
you
a
have a
lake,
lake, yeah.
that literally is in walking distance. It's not far from us, but like just
I mean,
like
hopefully you have gas in your car because that's gonna suck looking
right
water.
like,
You're like
that's what I was thinking too, like you know obviously like rain barrels and saving water and stuff like that throughout the winter if you would be doing that if you were in that kind of situation, but like
Yes,
I
definitely.
even I don't have something on like a large scale. We just have our little fitch ditch. Yes, but
yes.
you know, even that, like, it didn't get all the way filled up this winter.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
And you know, the water evaporates out of it. I've been watering the plants inside our greenhouse with that because instead of turning on the water, I just water with that.
Yeah.
It's like, why not? But, you know, that would definitely not last like long term.
Well, if you had several of those containers, I mean, and that's something else to think about. Like maybe invest in, and it doesn't have to be some crazy investment. Just invest in barrels that you find off wherever. Just pick them up here and there, and have those. You know what I mean? I mean, you can
you
even
have
use
to like
them
get
now.
water to your garden
Exactly.
every day during the summer.
Yeah. Well, and then water to you. I mean, you'd have to.
And your animals.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You can invest in just one of those water containers and then just always keep that full, like make sure it's filled up, then use that water throughout the year and then fill it back up. That way you
Yeah.
just have
That's
some-
exactly what Juan wants to do. He wanted to go
What?
get a bit.
Say that again because
Yeah, my husband was saying.
Okay, so you invest in a huge water container, like specifically meant to hold water, and it's like how many gallons? Like so, 350.
No, like 2,500.
Like yeah, 2,000 something. A lot, thousands of gallons of water it
Lots of
holds.
water.
Lots of water, and then you could use that all year long, and then just keep filling it up as you use it or whatever. Like we would have to slowly fill it because our well will shut off if it takes too much water out of it at one time.
You guys would need that more because then that way you don't have to worry about like you always
Your
have
well
some
drying
water
out.
well.
Yeah.
And then the
Exactly.
well would fill it back up.
Exactly.
You always have that water on hand.
Yeah, and then even like
Yeah, definitely.
a filtration system if you were getting water from something like a lake or something like that. You have to there's like I said there's so many aspects you have to think about that you just really don't until you start getting into it. Like, because drinking water is obviously different from just drinking your lake water.
I mean, it's easy to filter that.
Totally.
Though,
And we've even made stuff with the kids before
Yeah.
for like school. We've made like just filtration systems using like sand and rocks and shit, and like coffee filters. Like it's nothing like
yeah. So if
too
you
terribly
had
difficult.
if you had all the basic stuff, I mean, just like that, like coffee filter, sands, rock, whatever, on hand, and you put that like into your list, and then we haven't even gotten into like the whole gardening thing. Like if you don't have a garden and you're like, oh, what if shit hits the fan? I highly suggest you probably just start one. And you don't
Well, not
dependent
just a
upon-
garden, but a medicinal garden, because if something really did happen and you weren't able to get like medical things that you needed, you would have to basically take care of stuff on your own. Both
Yeah,
Sherry
and
and
that
I,
is huge. And we do a lot of that already.
Yeah.
And so I feel very comfortable.
I'm very confident,
very
in
confident
that aspect.
in that
Except
area.
for like when I have a really fucking bad headache and like nothing's gonna take it away but fucking ibuprofen. And like I even have I have willow bark tinctures and stuff like that. It's basically like Advil. But like kids aren't supposed to have willow bark under the age of like I think it's 12, and like there's lots of different
Yeah.
things that like it's not just like and we're so comfortable, and so it's so easy to be like, I have a headache, I'm getting this Tylenol out of my cupboard and taking
right.
it.
I mean, that was me earlier.
Yeah.
I just was like, my headache's killing me, so I have to
Yeah.
have Tylenol. And
But that's the thing you have to give up is convenience.
I was
right?
gonna say, I mean, that's just a matter of, well, I have to fucking suck it up and live with the headache
Mm-hmm.
for a day, like that's just all that is. But I mean, depending on your medical needs, each person is so different, and so
Yes, and that's the other thing too. That would like if
we
you
don't have
like,
a ton of medical needs.
No.
Like my youngest has asthma pretty bad, but like I have quite a bit of colloidal silver, and I have his nebulizer, so I'm even confident with that. I am starting to make my own colloidal silver, by the way.
you should. That'd be
Fucking doing it.
Now
And
that
then
we talked about
nobody
this-
has to buy it.
yeah.
And I can just make gallons upon gallons.
Gallons.
We can just fucking drink it all day long. It's gonna be
That's-
great.
We can turn colors.
And that's not a thing.
Yeah, that happened to somebody.
One
Drank
guy
gallons. I'm just
ever
saying.
in the
I'm just
history of
saying it still
ever.
happened. I just wouldn't suggest drinking gallons upon gallons.
No, you don't drink gallons, but you drink like
I just-
several cups a day. It
I'm
would keep
not-
you very healthy.
I would not drink several cups.
Yes,
of
do
Colloidal
it.
Silver. No.
You're an idiot. Put in your pancake mix.
What?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Put it in your
Happening.
pancake mix. No.
Happening.
Fucking pancakes are gonna be just pancakes. I'm like all about colloidal silver, but not like I'm not like trying to like take shots of it.
Yeah, I know. I want to take more of it. I just feel like, anyways, I'm making it. Happening.
You should. That'd be cool. But
Yeah.
yes, things like that if for your specific needs.
Yes. Like, what do you
Specific, I was about to
need?
say.
And that needs to be like on your list. And then like, okay, I have this, and or even if it's just a matter of stockpiling the
Insulin?
medications you need. Right. Exactly. And I know things obviously are going to expire, but like, I don't know. Even on a medication, when it says it expires, it just means it's a little less effective. It doesn't mean it's gonna fucking kill you,
Right.
more or less.
Right.
So,
And then even
Yeah.
getting things, again for your thinking about your animals, like medications and stuff if any of your animals need stuff, or having stuff on hand to where, you know, if you had an outbreak of coccidia within your flock, instead of your whole flock being taken out, you know, you have that, you know, cord on your shelf.
Right.
Things like that where you have it on hand and you know you have it. It's not like you're, oh, I'm running short, I'll get it later. Like, just, you know, it's just, like I said, so much to think about. But
it is
worth talking about. It is worth having a discussion, like, even with your family, not to, like, freak anybody out, or just being like, okay, what would we need if, like, you know, we needed to chill here for a few weeks and be good.
Yeah, or, you know, even a little bit longer than that.
Exactly, even longer, but not to, like, you know, I feel like kids, their minds always go to, like, the movies and stuff like that. So, like, bringing it up to your kids,
even
is
adults
always, like,
do that,
touch and
though.
go. Yeah. You know, like I said, like, everybody was like, you know, zombie apocalypse is happening, and then it was like, okay, we're all just watching Netflix.
That's
and,
it. Everyone gets a little vacation.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's definitely wouldn't be like the movies. I don't think people would start eating other people. Like, I think everybody would, just like in most that's like where every apocalyptic movie goes to, is like cannibals. Have you noticed that?
So fucking weird.
I'm
You're
like,
just
I
mean, how many animals are there out there?
And like,
where all the animals go?
But we're gonna like start eating people.
Well,
like,
where'd all the animals go? They just disappeared.
know.
Like, obviously,
I
we
don't
would just
know.
eat the animals.
Yeah, and even
We
if it
wouldn't
was,
resort
like,
to being like, "Come here, Frank." I mean, just like, you're like, what? Like, it's so
invite
fucking
your
weird.
neighbors over for dinner.
It's just
yeah.
so weird.
I think a lot of people would just, like, in any other think of, like, after 9/11, how, like, nice everybody was to each other. That's what I always
That's
think
what
about.
I'm saying, and I
Like, people
I
like
don't
kind of
think
come together in situations, and they want to help. You know, you want to, like, even during our lockdown, like, we were giving eggs to our neighbors, and, you know, because it was like, you know, just something little we could do to help. It wasn't like we were, like, hoarding them all for ourselves or anything like that. So, like, I don't know. I feel like most people want to be nice.
I think most people are nice. I think obviously there's always an asshole, but
There's an asshole to ruin every party.
yeah, but I don't feel like that's not most people. Most people want to be, you know, caring and considerate and giving, and that's just people's, I think, automatic, like, you know, their go-to, you know. We're all nurturers to a certain
And you have to
extent.
think that everybody has, like, something useful that they could contribute in your area or in your community. Something that's also, like, you might be like, oh, I have a homestead. People are going to want to, you know, my eggs and my milk and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, your next door neighbor could be really good at, like, fixing shit, like, that are, you know, mechanical wise, and you have no idea or whatever. So, like, when something breaks down, they're like, I got you, because you gave them those eggs and that milk. So
Right, and that's and bartering would be a huge thing, dependent upon how long your, you know, whatever went, right? Like, how long everyone was without things. And
but even, like,
that's always
you
kind
don't
of
like candles. Like, I feel like making candles would be a very much, like, on the to-do list.
if I had to use them, I would. They're not my favorite.
It's, like,
no.
easy, especially if you have your bees already.
You know
and
the
you're,
reason
like,
they're not my favorite? I always have a little kid. I always have a baby or a toddler.
Yeah.
And so that's why I immediately try to stay away from them. I mean, if I have candles, they're up pretty freaking high. You know, they're not just sitting out like on some fucking low table.
They're not providing light.
And they don't, exactly, they don't, like, actually provide anything.
They
and
do.
I'd rather
Like,
just
remember
not.
in all the movies, people have, like, their little, like, candles, and they're walking down the dark.
In the movies?
Yeah. In the movies.
They also have light in the movies, by the way. It's a
I'm
movie.
just saying. I'm just giving you an
And they're,
example,
like, shining light
be
down
like,
the hallway.
You know,
It's
turn
not
your
from
little,
the candle.
What about your little, like, you know, what are the old lanterns that you...
Oil lamp.
Oil lamp, thank you. Yeah. They have a little oil lamp. They turn up the little thingy, and it's, you know, go to bed, check on the kids.
Yeah, super
Everybody has
safe.
little-
Let's put oil in a
little
lamp.
bonnets
Sounds great.
and,
I hate
know.
bonnets. No,
You're
I'm against
negative
this.
Nancy.
I'm against this all.
You're against this narrative.
No, I just don't like candles. They just, like, freak me out. Like, falling, burning the house down. I'm like, I'm gonna pass.
You know what I was actually thinking about, prepping wise, and this is obviously, like, you know, there's things that you need, and then there's things you need, right? It's not like the same.
You mean want?
Yeah. No, not even one. Like, I was thinking about, like, if you have kids, and those kids are growing out of clothes, like, how would you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dependent upon how long that whatever.
Yeah,
you're
like, what if you
locked
couldn't
down
let,
for
yeah,
would
exactly,
go on
or
for.
like, you know,
Yeah. supply chain.
Worst case scenario, apocalypse. There's no stores
Well, that's
left.
when I would be kicking myself that I never
Right?
built in my skill set the whole like I'm gonna knit you
or
some
like
clothes
having
or sew you
sheep
some
and having
clothes.
fucking
Oh God,
doing
it
your
sounds
own yarn.
awful.
Yeah, crocheting that shit. You could like have a whole crocheted dress. Have little outfits for your dogs.
My girls, no fucking way. They would never. They're like, I'll go naked, thanks.
Depending on how cold it was, I don't think they would care.
Corelli would definitely go naked.
Crocheted
100%. 100% hands
jumper.
down. Yeah, crochet jumper. Daya's like, I'm putting this on because I don't want to be naked. Nobody bother me. Nobody look at me. I'm going to be running from room to room in the house.
It's the apocalypse, so I don't know if you should worry too much.
Oh, Shauna, Daya would be worried.
I know.
Daya would be terrified, actually.
But even like that stuff, like you didn't think of, things you don't think about, like your kids
I
growing
feel
out
like
of clothes. And I know you have like your clothes and all that.
Yeah, I was
too
like,
big. You
I
could
don't
always
know.
like fashion something, right?
I mean, Daya's like ridiculously skinny, but like she's my height now. Like she would definitely like fit into like a shirt of mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good. I don't know.
We have so many clothes.
And you know what? Maybe I'm gonna keep this clothes now. I was like, you know what? I need to go through these
it almost
clothes.
makes you a hoarder. Like thinking about it makes you a hoarder. And like I have
See, Mom has
we
been
give
right
Mom
all along.
this shit, and
That's right.
she's keeping this for the apocalypse.
That's
so thank
right.
you, Mom.
Yeah.
But
Oh my gosh, Mom has enough clothes to just clothe everybody in our family. By the way,
or maybe the whole neighborhood.
so we're good.
I have to have more Starbucks. It's calling my name.
Speaking of things we want, Starbucks. I'd be so sad.
Yeah, if anybody is a Starbucks barista, you can come live with me.
That is something that I would. I mean, I know I can definitely make my own teas with like chamomile and all my dried shit I have. But like, I really love a green tea, and I don't grow that, and so I would like. Most likely, I'm going to be stocking up on that green tea from Amazon.
I want to grow
bags and
my own
bags
tea
of green
leaves,
tea.
I want to grow my own tea leaves because it's really not hard, and it's like the same tea leaf provides all the different teas. It's just how
it's dried.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about that. But somebody on Instagram, who was it? I think it was the Burlap Lace and Pines.
Oh, okay,
You know that
yeah,
one? Okay.
yeah.
She was saying how she got she's getting into basically growing her own tea for her husband, and I was like, I need to do that. I need to look more into it. I haven't looked into it at all. Like,
I need that too. I really should.
But like that's the thing is like this is what makes you think about the things that you would not necessarily have to have, but would be nice to have, and you fucking grow it outside. Like why the fuck not?
No,
So,
I need tea. It's something
I
need.
know.
I need it.
I get headaches.
I do. I get headaches. I have like caffeine withdrawals. That's all the caffeine I have, by the way.
You're
I'm
like,
not some,
I need tea and a Starbucks barista. That's all.
I would want a Starbucks cup too. Makes me feel good.
Just to be like,
I did.
there I am.
Yes, Sherry, you did go to Starbucks
You're
today.
fine. Everything's fine. And then
we're consumers. Don't blame us.
Don't judge us.
That's fine.
But
yeah, I should start growing my own tea. I don't spend a lot of money, and I
they-
get really good tea. It's like an organic loose leaf green tea
Me
from
too.
Amazon. It's
We
like a
are
big
tea
bulk.
snobs.
We are tea snobs. But like, I think it's like $20 for like a 1 pound bag, which is really, really good. But I don't know if I was growing my own, $20 I save every. Because I don't know how often I go through it.
I think I go through mine every 3 months.
I think I go through mine a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I blame my kids though; they all drink it because I brew a huge batch and then I add the honey and then strain the leaves out, add the honey, and I put it into big jars in the fridge.
Yeah,
and then
it's all
my
just
kids just
ready
come
to
and
go.
just take it.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
takers.
My kids are always like, "Can you make me tea?" Which I love that they love.
No,
tea.
I love that they love it, and it's so good for them because the green tea has so many antioxidants in it, and it's just really good for you.
Yeah, but when you're getting blow on your bag of tea, you
I open
feel
the fridge
like
and there's like this much tea in my jar. I'm just like,
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
You're like,
my tea.
Um,
don't touch my tea.
But what was I going to say before that? What were we talking about? Because I was like, that is also
Stop
another
licking
great point.
your face. You're a weirdo.
Nobody else can see her, and you just look like you're shaking my boob.
She's just licking her face. Shauna's dog just licks her mouth. It's like it just drives me batshit crazy.
Poor Putin.
I could throw her right through that window, actually.
But what else was I gonna say? I forgot.
We were talking about
think
tea.
about Lord of the Rings.
We were talking about growing our own tea.
Yes.
Is that? I'm assuming it was something off of that.
Off of that.
No, she doesn't remember, folks. She does not remember.
It's not even a little bit.
It's a look of
I'm
vacancy.
like trying really hard because I was like, oh yeah, and that is.
It's like looking through an empty window.
Yeah, I'm like not even really focusing on it either. I'm just like looking at my sock and how hairy it is. Well, damn
I was
it.
like, okay, well, that thought's gone.
Oh, I know what it was.
Oh, there we go.
I wasn't even thinking about it.
See?
So, my Honest and I are watching this new show on HBO. I forgot what it's called. It's something pottery.
Stop.
But it's basically it's the Great British Baking Show, but for like a pottery.
Pottery throwdown.
Oh, the Great Pottery Throwdown.
Oh, they even named it like
Yeah,
the
and
same.
it's literally like the same, like how they whatever. You watch the Great British Baking Show, you totally get it, which is also another great show.
Yeah.
I love it. But
I've never been into the Great British Baking Show. I can't get into it.
I love
It's
it.
weird.
I love their
No,
accents.
I don't
love
like it.
how nice they are. Like, you know, they're just very supportive of each
all
other.
of that
They're
stuff is
very,
great.
like,
I just don't
love it. And
really
then all the
like
cooking,
it.
we always try things that they like make, and we're like, we're gonna try
The things
that.
are insane and ridiculous.
I love it.
Overly decadent and
No, not all of them.
and your kids aren't going to eat it.
Yeah, my kids eat it.
No, they don't.
We the Swiss roll that we make literally every
The
year
Swiss
now.
roll is great. It's basic. It's not overly
You're
decadent.
basic.
I know.
Anyways, my butt is hurting from sitting on this chair. Okay. But so we've been watching that pottery show, and I was like, I should be a potter too. Like
A potter.
a potter. I want a pottery wheel, because think of how useful that is to be able to like make your own cups and plates and all of that shit. Anything. Like, what
I
do you
mean,
want?
that would be pretty fucking awesome, actually.
Isn't that?
Because you have to think, like, obviously things are just gonna break and
Candle
shit, right?
holders?
Dogs chew shit, you know.
Yeah, like things don't last forever.
Candle holders. You still
Yeah,
on
they
these
made
candles.
like they made like candlestick holders, and like all the things. They're making stuff for the garden, and like, you know, you literally like anything you can, you know, fucking, you know, out of a. It's just brilliant. I love it, and I was like, but like I am not. I don't have a lot of like what's the word? Damn it.
Skills.
That's rude.
I'm obviously joking. You have a very full skill set.
Skill set. I have one.
Very full.
It's not that. The word that I'm looking for, or words in general. And engineering. That's the word. I'm not a good like engineer. Like, and that is a lot of it.
You
It's
must
like,
be to make pottery.
well, like to make anything more, you know,
usable,
than
functional.
something more than like a cup or a bowl. I would say like you need
What
a
else do
fair
you need
amount.
besides a cup or a bowl or a plate?
There's lots of things that they are making, and it's amazing. But they have like plans and like it's exact measurements and
Oh,
things.
Jesus.
And that's not how my brain works.
Yeah, no.
That's not how I learned.
I do actually kind of work like that. I do like exact
Kristen, you
measurements, but
you like exact measurements?
yes, I do.
That's weird.
Yeah, I do. I do
I
like
do
it.
not.
I know. I have noticed.
I do not like
Yeah.
it. I do not like it.
I do
Sam,
not
I
like
am.
it, Sam. I am. No, I know. I do like it, but I don't know if I would ever. I don't know. You know, I say things, and I'm like, maybe I would like that if I had the time, but I don't have the time, folks.
I think you would.
I don't have the
And
time.
It's very like, I don't know. It looks fun.
Yeah. I just have so many children.
I think I'd
and
be
they
great
are so
at it.
needy. And then I imagine me trying to relax and do the pottery. You know, I'm imagining me and like Ghost. That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
And then like
Very
my kids
sexy.
coming in instead of my husband, my sexy husband coming in. It would be my kids being like, "Rah!" They come in.
So-
one of them pushes the other against the pottery wheel. My whole thing goes
Yeah.
flying.
They
That's
don't look
how
like
my
Patrick
life would
Swayze.
be. They don't know. No, he doesn't. And that's how my life would. That's how my life is. That's what it would be. It wouldn't be my relaxing. I'm in my Zen moment. I don't get Zen moments.
No?
No.
Maybe during the apocalypse you would.
Zen little kids outside. Lock the door. Zen moment has begun.
Fight those zombies, kids.
No, my only Zen moment is when I'm writing in my journal. That's it. I get to just
that's
sit
nice.
down and relax. It's interrupted often,
Yeah, but still.
multiple times.
You get it.
I actually will put the pen down and walk away like in the middle of a word, and I come back. I'm like, what the fuck was I writing?
I hate that.
And
I
you just
hate
have to start a new
I do
fucking
that
sentence,
all
and I
the
feel like
time.
just scratching out the
Scratch it
other
off.
stuff.
You should just put little bubble notes. Be like, this is because so and so walked in, you know, so you can read.
I usually
back.
do actually,
That's
because it
funny.
is cute to look
Yeah.
back on memories, even though at
Yeah.
the time I'm like,
Yeah, you're frustrated.
fucking
but,
hate
like,
you right
when
now.
you're reading it in a few
but
years.
when you read it to your kids
Yeah,
in 5
it's
years and
very
they're 5
sweet.
years older, they're laughing and giggling. Oh, mommy, did I interrupt you? You're like, yes, you did, you sweet little angel. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we hope that we gave you some kind of. I know we rambled a lot.
I'm not sure if we gave you any inspiration.
I think we did.
Hopefully,
We did.
you know.
You can think about things
Yeah,
that your
it just-
family, because it's very specific to your family. I think it's not
100%. Like
not
for
like-
me, if we were like genuinely going to be in an apocalypse, I would probably go get more goats, even though I have 4 now that I milk. But I probably would get more.
Why the fuck not?
Just why not? It'd be one more excuse.
But
Like
there's a lot of things that I want to learn how to do.
I would definitely go get a goat buck, like so
Ah.
that I could breed my does depending
Said
on how long
goats.
we were in lockdown.
Yep.
Because they don't just like completely continuously produce milk for you.
They do not.
So there'd be a lot. So those are the things that I
Or
would
like making
focus
your
on.
own like rennet and stuff like that. Like I like make cheese, but I just buy at the cheese.
Yeah, fuck
Like
yeah.
there's a lot of things
So
that
I
don't.
have never used rennet to make cheese. I just make it the really, really, really lazy way
And
with
that's
just
what I was-
vinegar and dripping, and then it's like ready to go in a salad.
Well, and
Thank
you
you.
can also make like you just leave it out. A couple days it's cheese.
Cheese, look at
Yeah,
that
I
on your
did
counter.
it.
It's weird.
So like there's definitely
And
workarounds.
you know what else I
for
just
that
thought
kind of stuff?
about?
What?
So we take for granted the fact that our chickens are so broody, and we continuously just have fresh chickens all the time. Not
Fresh
that we
chickens.
eat chickens,
But you could feed 'em to
fresh
your dogs.
fresh layers all the time.
Yeah, we do.
We take that for granted.
We do.
There's a lot of people that they don't have hens that are broody and laying babies, and if you didn't, what would you do when your hens are done laying? And not that you're going to be.
Or if you don't have a rooster, that's another reason to have a rooster.
That's what I'm saying. Not that the
Yeah.
apocalypse would be for 7 years, but I guess you never know.
You never know.
Could be 10 years. Who knows?
Apocalypse is
You better
usually
learn how to make some fucking clothes if you have
Something
kids.
big, it's more than like just a pandemic. But yeah,
I guess,
think
that's
there's
very true.
Yeah.
Apocalyptic event.
Yes, I think a rooster would be needed in that case.
Rooster, how to sew clothes. So yeah, stuff to think about. And like Shauna said, it's very
Adding to your own skill set, I
based
think,
off
is
of your
always,
family and your needs.
Yeah, and things like to start getting into if you haven't already, like if you're like nervous about starting to learn how to make bread and stuff like that. All that kind of
Yeah.
stuff is so
Jump right into it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Just do it, because then you'll be like, skill set. I have it.
I have that, and I can make bread now forever.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's a lot of things that I have on my list that I'm like, okay, like I do want to start learning how to crochet and stuff. I'm really bad. I tried it once and I was really.
Do you really
Oh,
though, or are you just saying that?
No, I really do.
I would not.
Because like that's something that's a
And
skill.
you know what? Here's
or,
another
like,
thing. You could actually, give things to different people in your family depending on your family size. Like I would definitely have my daughter be like, you should learn. Like she knows how to sew pretty well, but I'm like, you should learn how to sew even better, and you should start actually sewing clothes right now, so that if an apocalyptic event ever happened, we would have all this material, and you can just make us clothes.
Yeah. Or even like use the material that you had, and like clothes that you've already had that are like too small, you can cut them and make them into something else.
Repurpose them.
Repurpose.
Recycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, is that like when we were talking about like being a hoarder, like it really does, because when you are, before you throw, nothing like should be wasted based, in a sense where your animals should be working together with your garden and stuff like that, as far as like composting and things even that you get out of your garden going back to your animals, and it's very sustainable. And then even in your house, like not throwing away things and getting into the habit now, because that is a very useful thing to kind of get into the habit of. All your food waste goes to something, whether it's to your compost or to your animals, or
we literally never throw food away.
Or like, orange peels and lemon peels going to your cleaning sprays and stuff like that. Because even during an apocalypse, you're not going to want everything to smell like vinegar, I would assume.
Yeah, no thanks.
But like, and then, but like everything, like even when I can't think of another good example but beyond like food waste, but like jars and things like that, there could always be like a purpose for that thing before you throw it out. Like think about it, I guess, is my point.
I keep all the jars.
I keep all the jars too, and that's like probably a bad example. I was trying to think of something else. That's
It's
like
not a
more
bad example.
like
It's a great example. 'Cause we were just
obscure.
talking about making dishes and making cups, because your cups are going to break and stuff. If you're just keeping jars, well then congratulations. Ta-da,
Well,
you
like,
have
and
cups.
think of how many, if you weren't able to go out and just buy like a flat of mason jars.
That's what I'm saying.
Like-
Jars are great for everything.
Yeah.
And like your spaghetti sauce jars, literally anything.
But
Pickle jars.
makes you think you should go stock up on mason jars and like lids and stuff, because if you're canning for your family for like the
Oh,
winter,
yeah, for
you
sure.
can only use the, one
Yeah.
time.
You can only use the One time.
Lots of
One
things.
time.
Oh, we're talking too much. That's what my husband just said, but with his hands. He knows sign language.
And they thank you for that.
Before we sign off, though, we had a couple people post reviews.
And thank you,
You
because
guys
that's
are
amazing.
awesome.
And
And
you
we're
guys
gonna
are
read
awesome.
them because we love you.
Yeah, heck yeah, we're gonna read
Where did I
them.
put them? That's the baby. That's the baby. That's the baby. There they are. Okay, so the first one was from Andrea. I can't say her last name.
Don't say her last name.
We're not going to say your last name. But she said, it's such a fun podcast. She enjoys listening. She said to you, which was to us. She says, now I might
Thank
get
you
some
for
goats.
clarifying.
LOL. Already have my chickens. So thank you, Andrea.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
The next one was a 5-star rating. Thank you so much. This is their username, Namashana, something like that. But they wrote, I love this podcast, factual and funny. These ladies keep it real. We do. I really enjoy their banter, and they share very useful information about homesteading. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
We
if
appreciate
you
that.
leave a review, we're going to be reading them on each podcast each week, and we absolutely love it. And like we said, that really helps us to grow. So we appreciate all of that.
And if
Thank
you guys are prepping or whatever, and you have
Poo,
something
stop.
useful that
Jesus.
you would like to share that people should be doing, go ahead, feel free to email us, share it on Facebook, Instagram. We'd love to hear your ideas too, because these are just things that we just kind of they've always been in the back of our head, but we're kind of just more thinking about it lately, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So-
definitely.
But yes,
And reach out to us just for anything, not for prepping necessarily if you don't want to, but really anything at all. We love to hear from you guys, and we love getting personal emails and stuff. It's like the highlight of our freaking
tell us
day.
what your favorite Starbucks drink is. We don't care.
And we will tell you ours and our children's.
Other than that,
Yeah.
we will talk to you guys next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.